flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Again, this is a great evening. We have our police here for accommodations, our volunteer fire companies here, emergency medical services is here. I just want to point out that, even though we bring tax money, everybody pays taxes here, and we do the best we can with building our infrastructure. What's that? All right. We do a great job holding taxes, but it really wouldn't mean much if you weren't able to pick that phone call up when you had an emergency situation. And we have a wonderful support, volunteer fire companies, our police, all our emergency medical, and also our public works behind the scenes, keeping our roads paved. So without that, behind that scene, without being part of this, we wouldn't have nothing. So they're here tonight for accommodations, and we really appreciate everything everyone does. So on that, I got to go through the agenda. Before that, Mr. Flegler, we met in executive session. Oh, that's right. I get ahead of myself.
He's so excited.
I
It's
am.
been a while, huh?
Yeah. Roll call, please.
President Bowen.
Here.
Mr. Antonello.
Here.
Mr. Blaylock.
Here.
Ms. Dunlap.
Here.
Mr. Glassen.
Here.
Mrs. Wagner.
Present.
Mr. Flegler, before we started the meeting, we met in executive session.
We did, Mr. President. We met in executive session tonight to discuss litigation matters and personnel matters.
Thank you. Next, monthly reports are available for review in the Township Manager's Office. Public comments will be taken on land development and official action items. General comments will be taken during an opportunity for residents to address council. Next, we have our presentations, and the first one is recognition of Police Week. I have a resolution recognizing the week of May. 12/18 as National Police Week, and I'd like to read that. So we have resolution number 2024-29, a resolution of the Council of Bristol Township celebrating National Police Week in the commemoration of the men and women who protect the health, safety, and welfare of Bristol Township. Whereas law enforcement officers are charged with pursuing justice, protecting, and where it is important that all citizens know and understand the problems, duties, and responsibility of their police department, and that members of our police department recognize their duty to serve the people by safeguarding life and property, by protecting them against violence or disorder, and by protecting the innocent against deception and the weak against oppression and intimidation. Whereas Bristol Township recognizes the week of May 12th, 2024 as National Police Week. Now therefore be it resolved, Bristol Township Council acknowledges the significant daily contribution that the employees within the Bristol Township Police Department provide to the residents and businesses throughout the township. Resolved and adopted this 16th day, May 2024.
Thank you.
What's that? Yeah, we're going to make a vote. All in favor of this resolution? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And again, thank you. Next on the agenda is recognition of I can hack stuff up, of Public Works Week, a resolution recognizing the week of May 19th, 24. Thank you. That's some allergy pills I took. I got to stop that. It's National Public Week. Consideration to adopt. I do. Resolution, thank you, Pat. Resolution number 2024-30. Resolution of the Council of Bristol Township celebrating National Public Works Week in commemoration of the men and women in Bristol Township who provide and maintain the infrastructure and services collectively known as Public Works. Whereas National Public Works Week is in celebration of employees who play a crucial role and are dedicated in strengthening our community, maintaining our infrastructures, and improving our quality of life. Whereas Public Works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and service that are vital importance to sustainable and resilient Bristol Township. And whereas Bristol Township recognizes the week of May 19, 2024 as National Public Works Week. Now therefore be it resolved, Bristol Township Council acknowledges the significant daily contribution and employees within the Public Works Department to provide to the citizens and businesses throughout the township during National Public Works Week. Resolved and adopted this 16th of day, May 2024.
Thank you.
Thank you. All the Public Works. All in favor of this resolution? Aye. Anyone opposed? Thank you. What's that?
One more. He said.
Yep. No, keep this. And the next one, recognition of Emerging Metal Services Week, a resolution recognizing the week of May 19th, 2024 as Emergency Medical Services Week. And I'd like to read that one. I'm missing one. Oh, there it goes. Resolution 2024-31. A resolution of the Council of Bristol Township celebrating National Emergency Medical Service Week in commemoration of the men and women in Bristol Township providing life-saving care to friends and neighbors in need. National Emergency Medical Service Week is a celebration of all people who provide emergency medical service to the residents of Bristol Township and to recognize their contributions that EMS officials make each day to our health, safety, comfort, and quality of life. Where access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury. And whereas the emergency medical services system consists of emergency medical technicians and paramedics. And whereas the members of the emergency medical service teams, whether career or volunteer, engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continuing education to enhance their life-saving skills. And whereas Bristol Township recognizes the week of May 19th through 25th, 2024 as National EMS Week. Now therefore be it resolved, Bristol Township Council acknowledges the significant daily contribution that employees within the EMS career provide to the citizens and business throughout the township during National EMS Week. Resolved and adopted this 16th day of May, 2024. All in favor on the resolution?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Thank you, everybody. We really appreciate everything you do.
I don't see him. See him.
Next, we have a combination of merit. Is our chief? Oh, lieutenant. Great to see you, Lieutenant.
Now it is. Well, everybody, I'm Lieutenant Cosgrove. I run the patrol division here in Bristol Township. First, we have Officer Kevin Jackson. Officer Jackson is a well-respected veteran officer. He's an unofficial leader that newer officers emulate and go to for guidance. Officer Jackson exudes quiet confidence and it lends calm to acrimony and rancor. He's an asset to our department and the community. Kevin. On February 24th, 2024 at 1:32 p.m., police were dispatched to the area of Veterans Highway and Ford Road for a serious motor vehicle crash with 2 fatalities. The driver of the striking vehicle had fled the scene on foot. Officer Jackson observed a dump truck on an adjacent road traveling at a high rate of speed. Officer Jackson, relying on his training and experience, determined that the operator of the dump truck was possibly the driver who had fled the scene. He proceeded to effect a traffic stop in the aforementioned vehicle, and it began to flee the area. After a brief pursuit, the driver of the dump truck crashed and again fled on foot. Officer Jackson apprehended the subject after a foot pursuit. It was discovered that the driver had in fact stolen the dump truck in an attempt to leave the area. Officer Jackson took charge of the second accident scene and the stolen vehicle investigation. Officer Jackson's meritorious actions led to the identification and arrest of the driver involved in a double fatal hit and run. His actions during the course of the call showed his professionalism and care for the safety of the residents of Bristol Township. Officer Jackson's actions and meritorious service is hereby awarded the Commendation of Merit. Do both pictures later? I'm not sure. We'll do the pictures, do them later? All right, thank you, Kevin. Officer Theodore Tabasco. Officer Tabasco was appointed as a Bristol Township officer mere days after I ascended to my current post. One of my first official acts was attending Officer Tabasco's Police Academy graduation. He was instantly likable, and I felt that we had chosen wisely. Now in his second year of service, Officer Tabasco vindicates my first impression daily. He displays all the traits that we value and seek in young officers: integrity, tenacity, dependability, and compassion. Officer Tabasco. On March 14th, 2024, at 3:13 a.m., while on routine patrol of his sector, Officer Tabasco observed a subject operating a bicycle without proper lighting, prompting him to stop the man and contact him. While investigating, Officer Tabasco was able to determine the operator of the bicycle had an active warrant. Upon the operator being taken into custody, Officer Tabasco located and recovered a loaded firearm with a laser sight and obliterated serial numbers. The operator was also found to be in possession of illegal substances. Officer Tabasco demonstrated diligence and perseverance in performing his investigation and apprehending the subject to prevent further criminal activity or victimization. Officer Tabasco's valued police service and intelligence is hereby awarded the Commendation of Merit. Thank you.
Congratulations, thank you again.
Yes.
Next, we have the Glasson grants to volunteer fire companies and rescue squads. Will be presented by Joe Glasson. Who else? Yeah.
So, good evening, everybody. I just wanted to do a quick little background on what the next part of this is. Thank you. Thanks, Rand. Several years ago, there was some issues with the RDA grants, and the fire companies and rescue squads were always allowed to participate in some of the RDA grants and stuff like that. We had a lot of infrastructure work to do, so council had to pull back on allowing some of that money that was going towards the volunteer fire companies and limited it. So along with the support of council, myself and another former councilman, God rest his soul, Bob Lewis, came up with, we lobbied to get some money for the volunteer fire companies on top of it, because we had to pull back on the RDA grant money. So that's kind of the behind the scenes story on how this kind of evolved. Bob Lewis, again, he kind of nicknamed it the Glassing Grants, but the money comes out of the budget for the township, and along with the years we've been doing this, I had 100% support from all the council beginning, and some of them have new faces from when this started, but still 100% support. So I just wanted to let everybody know that, you know, what the backstory is on that, and we've been able to continue it. Thanks for a lot of work by the township manager, council, and everybody else, department heads coming in with their budgets on time and short, or you know what I mean, under budget, and saving money and putting it back to the community. So that's the story behind the Glassing Grants.
Yep, first one, Croydon Fire Department. Thanks, Tom. Thanks for coming out. It's great everybody can see our chiefs. I think it's great. Next, Edgley Fire Company. Yeah, thanks, Billy. It's always good to see you. Next is Levittown number 2, which, yeah. And for people at home, Joe is part of Levittown too. He is a volunteer fireman.
For people at home, Joe's modesty belies all that he gives to this township, this state, and our community. He's a longtime volunteer fireman and gives tirelessly of his time for his community.
Newportville Fire Company. And Newportville Fire Company, we have 2 new volunteers. Two new women volunteer. Yes. They're official volunteer firewomen. Yep. That's just awesome. 2 more women joined too. Yeah. Yep, great. Thank you. Oh, by the way, I sent my check in. Yep, thank you, Joe. 3rd District.
Craig, are you telling me the women have to save the day again?
Yes.
All right.
How you doing? Good to see you. Bucks County Rescue Squad. Chief? Yeah, no, good. And last but not least, Levittown, Faros Hills Rescue Squad. Thanks, Chief. Appreciate it. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I think it's great that the residents at home can actually put a face to the fire departments and emergency medical services. It's great. Thank you so much for coming out. And everything, again, for everything you do. Next on the agenda is 2023 year-end reviews. First one's Department of Fire Rescue, Kevin DiPolito.
Test, test. Now it is. That's what it is. I think the battery went out. Right? So technically, it is a confined space prop, but what we will do is we will send in, if that were a real life scenario, we would send in the smallest person on the crew to go get the trapped victim. We are equipped to OSHA compliance. One of the things we will do is if we send rescuers into a confined space of any kind, there will be 2 in and 2 out, meaning that when 2 rescuers go in, there's 2 on the outside, so that if we get in trouble, 2 of our own go in and get them. Next, please. We did the same with our water rescue capability. Still to this day, we are the only state-certified swiftwater rescue team. We got a second boat thanks to the manager and the assistance of a grant that we recently got. What we do is, if we go into a swiftwater operation, we're going to send 1 boat in with only the necessary personnel on it, and the second boat will be on standby for the same reasons as I described in a confined space. If we get into trouble, our backup team is ready to come get us. Next, please. During the year of 2023, I conducted 21 what I would consider serious investigations, house fires, apartment fires, garages and such, or anything that involved a significant injury. I've worked closely with detectives on several fires. That's routine throughout the year. Anytime I determine an incident to be incendiary or arson, as a more common term, I will involve the detectives to work the case with me. One of them that happened late last year in November, you may recall, it hurt one of our captains from Croydon. He was fighting a fire up on the 2nd level and the floor collapsed. He fell approximately 16 feet. That fire occurred sometime in the middle of the night. I think it was 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. By noon, we knew who the doer was. We followed the trail of videotapes, and with the help of our police department and an outside agency, we identified the guy within a few hours, and he's currently awaiting trial. I assisted neighboring fire marshals on a few incidents. One of them I recall was a fatal in Bristol Township, unfortunately. In the Fire Prevention Division, during 2023, between myself and the inspectors and Amy, we did a little over 1,600 fire inspections, 756 re-inspections to ensure the violations that were noted were abated, 108 new commercial use and occupancy inspections, and over 50 plan reviews, whether they be land development, alarm systems, sprinkler systems, what have you. We installed 86 smoke alarms in homes last year. That was the 2nd most that we've ever installed. As so far as emergency management goes, next slide, please. We conducted numerous first aid, CPR, and emergency preparedness classes. Most of them were conducted by Amy and I. 183 residents and numerous employees of some of our businesses in the township attended. Some of our activities are listed up there. We did at least 1 tabletop exercise that I recall in-house, simulating power outages and a line of severe storms came through. Of course, the chemical spill at Trinzio on the Dow property. We went back there again for an odor investigation that turned out to be nothing. We also get involved in a support role helping Truman during their graduation. And then in July, we did part 1 of a large tabletop exercise here in the room with the command staff from the fire departments and the rescue squad, where we simulated again, a line of storms came through. They were being overwhelmed with calls. We took it to a certain level. That we came back the next month, and we built on that exercise to where the fire departments were making decisions as to which, even though they're getting flooded with calls, which ones were holding, which resources they were sending to which calls, so that they would prioritize the incidents. In October, I had the honor of lecturing at the Pennsylvania Keystone Emergency Management Association conference in, I don't remember where I was somewhere in central Pennsylvania. But it was an honor to do so. We had a couple other incidents, including the 911 phone outage, and the staff completed dozens of online and additional emergency management training. Okay, next slide, please. One thing that kind of started in 2023 but really got kicked into high gear is the partnership I've made with Thomas Jefferson University Hospital, their emergency and disaster management postgraduate program. The gentleman that runs that program, Dr. Burton, and I have a relationship through emergency medicine, and we traded. I've done some lectures for his graduate students, and in return, those graduate students are going to do a more robust tabletop exercise here in the auditorium in July. It'll be compliant to Homeland Security's exercise program. If we were to pay for something like this, it would cost us thousands of dollars. So, just a trade-off. I did some lectures for them. They're going to come here and do it, and I just met with them again yesterday to do more of the planning for the exercise. We're also going to involve, it's going to be fire, EMS, it's going to be the police department, Public Works, and Lower Bucks Hospital is also going to be involved. In March of 2023, you'll recall I came to the manager. The complex project was pretty stalled at that point due to rising costs of construction. I went to the manager with an idea of how we could utilize our buildings and renovate them. Long story short, the idea was to turn the Inspire building, which was stalled, into our Park and Rec building due to its location, do essentially a tenant fit out, with the potential that it could earn us some money with the rooms in there being rented out to maybe dance groups or something like that. Build a new senior center, and instead of just adding on to the old one, and then take the old senior center, put a small addition on there for apparatus bays, and repurpose the rooms to be the station that we were trying to build. It'll be a significant cost savings to the township. The Park and Recs building, as you know, is practically done. They're doing the paving work and the drainage work outside now. I will credit the manager, because when I went to her with the idea, she immediately went to work looking for a grant and found a $4 million grant, I believe, a $4 million grant. So the senior center is probably not going to cost us anything to build. The grant monies will cover it. So credit to her for that part. Other things I want to do is our department will continue the professional services that we provide the citizens and the businesses every day. That's not going to change. We will continue our professional development in all aspects of what we do, whether it be code enforcement, emergency management, typical everyday firefighting, or the intricate technical rescue disciplines that we've been doing. We will continue to assist realtors when they're looking for commercial properties. One of the things you may or may not know is the list that Amy maintains for us in our inspections denotes when a property is vacant and known to us. So when a realtor is looking for a commercial property, a business wants to move into the township, we can pretty quickly, Amy actually can pretty quickly bring it up and say, okay, here's everything that we have vacant. And then if we know what they're looking for, bay size, square footage, the inspectors in the department, they can say, hey, that matches what they're looking for. We can push it on to them and hopefully bring the business into the township. I never stop looking for grants. I've been pretty successful with grants. We will continue that, and certainly I hope to finish the year again with no injuries. But I want to add one more thing to that, is that the dedication of the staff of my department. We went another year, we're a small department. 4 of my men, no sick time. 2 of my men did have a couple of days sick. One was for a surgery and one was hospitalized, both unrelated to work. And one, unfortunately, did get the flu and had to use a couple sick days. But to their credit, these guys come to work, they work hard, they love what they do, and I just wanted to point that out to them. That's it. Any questions?
Not at all. Thank you so much for everything you do. Great job. Next, we have Public Works Department. Charlie? Hi, Charlie. Push that button screen.
We're good.
There we go.
Good to see everybody. 2023 was another great year for Public Works. We were able to hire 7 guys between March of 2023 to now. All of them are fantastic hires with plenty of experience. They've been a blessing to the department, and we look forward to continuing hiring good employees going forward. Public Works maintains 172 miles of roads, as you can see. That includes all the signage, regulatory and warning signs. We maintain 32 parks along with green belts. We do all the mowing. We do the upkeep of the infrastructure, the structures themselves, playgrounds. We're responsible for all the stormwater management throughout the township. I say not necessarily on state roads, but in a way we are, because if the state roads are backed up, that's where a lot of our stormwater backs in, ties into. So it is a lot. I think it's 172,000 lineal feet of pipes throughout the township. We maintain all the township-owned facilities and equipment, including the administrative building, the fire marshal's office, the senior center, parks and rec building, municipal complex, all the structures, the field house, the breezeway, the public works garages, and the DV3 building, which is the building in Edgerly where the veterans use rent. Next slide. So this slide shows the play structure from Penco Tech. We've removed and rebuilt this structure and installed it at Carroll Counts Park in Winter Village. The guys did an outstanding job with the install. The reason we did this was Bristol Township staff agrees that instead of purchasing more structures for all these parks, that we need to kind of focus on what we already have and to upgrade the play structures. But this was free. This was just it was too good to kind of pass up, and Winter Village desperately needed a new play structure because the previous one was in such bad shape. So neighbors are happy, and again, the guys did a great job with it. We're excited to announce the spray park opening on May 25th, which will be here next week. The new shade structures are up. They look great. Shade sales for the playground should be up within about a month. The footing details came back and were way more than anybody expected. They're 13 feet deep concrete structures, so that kind of slowed things down, but we're in good shape, and structures will be in for the summer. Next slide. Oh, I'm sorry. No, you're good. Yeah. Did you pass one? All right, so this is our Green Region Open Space Program. We were granted a money through PICO from their Green Region Open Space Program. Picture's hard to see, I know. Kind of shows where the new trees that we planted were going to go. Basically, it's a buffer between Bristol-Oxford Valley Road and the event space where families and kids are, where we have all of our vendors, just for noise pollution and just for safety, to kind of keep people and noise from getting out onto Bristol-Oxford Valley Road. So this slide shows our mason, Don Bellerby, exposing a manhole on ravine. This manhole was buried for years. We needed access to it to line the storm pipe, and we were able to locate it through myself going out there with a magnet, and Mr. Rehab using their robot to kind of detect footage, so we had an idea. This is actually going on currently. We raised the manhole up to grade, and Monday we're gonna re-pour the residents their driveway apron. This shows Edgerly Firehouse, Edgerly Road, before we installed our inlet here. For years, it had flooded. People had said, Public Works did something decades ago. Nobody knew for sure what it was. We finally got into it, exposed the storm pipe, and we added an inlet on top of the existing storm structure. And ever since then, there's been no issues that I'm aware of. Yes. Oh, I know.
Well, I got plenty of news. It's good.
Good. We'll take it. So this is Border Rock. This is behind Border Rock, a stretch of it in Blue Ridge. This first picture shows just a swale that was completely filled with vegetation and people's yard waste and trash and everything else, so it was preventing stormwater from getting to an existing inlet. We cleared out the entire area with permission from residents and businesses that backed up to it. We added a new inlet, completely regraded the area, put in erosion control, and you know, right now, currently, there's grass, and it looks great.
Did you save the duck?
I'm sorry?
Did you save the little duck?
Of course, of course. You like that? This is Christine Avenue in Edgeley area off of Radcliffe. There was a low spot for years that had been puddling right before, right at the intersection of Radcliffe and Christine. So cars would literally try to pull out onto Radcliffe in the winter, and they would just slide right out because of the ice. So before the road program last year, we coordinated with JDM, who won the award, and we installed a numerous set of inlets and storm drainage throughout the street, over 350 feet of drainage, and eliminated the problem altogether. Next slide. This is Violetwood Drive in Violetwood. We went out for a complaint. We tried to jet the line and ended up with the jetter literally in the dirt outside of the pipe. So we excavated the road, removed and replaced the old deteriorated pipe. The next picture, Susan Avenue, shows on the bottom left picture, no one knows what that is or who put it in, but we basically, the resident needed to replace his driveway, but that pipe right there went within a matter of inches underneath his driveway, and he had to replace his driveway, so we had to excavate back far enough to put a new pipe in. We're well under 8 inches deep, and Susan Circle, which is downstream of that, constantly flooded, so we also added an inlet and tied it into the existing stormwater structure. I know that's a little difficult to see, but the entire stormwater kind of started on Dixon Avenue, cut through a couple backyards, which we now have easements for, which we never did, let out under this guy's driveway, which we had to excavate, lowered the pipe, added an inlet, and now there's no more flooding. Yeah, that's all. So this shows two 60-inch pipes that run under Croydon Acres Park. Mr. Rehab, our third-party contractor that's doing all of our jetting, cammering, and CIPP for our stormwater and sanitary, they found with their camera two 60-inch inlets that were filled with tons and tons and tons of silt. They were 90% blocked, two 60-inch pipes. I could walk through these pipes now, but before you couldn't even get a small dog through them. They literally removed tons and tons, thousands of pounds of silt and debris, which freed up large sections of West Bristol, Upper Croydon, and everything upstream of that. This just shows a couple pictures of the cured in place process. They're inverting a pipe right now into the storm drain. This one just shows a camera going in. It's in the video every time after they clean a storm drain. So that is a list of inlets that Public Works has repaired or replaced since March of last year. The number of potholes in the VACCON, that just shows all of our Vactor truck that goes out and sucks out all the material in the drains. Those numbers should be doubled. It's just that that's what we have on record. When we're out there and we see other stuff, we always do more. This is from our 2023 inlet replacement project that we put out to bid. Kay Seifert won the award. We're lucky enough we were able to do the initial scope of work, the and we were able to add additional inlets as we went. This just shows the location of those inlets. Future goals, increase the amount of road restoration and inlet replacements, continue to add stormwater management, continue to grow the department, hiring quality applicants, and continue to upgrade parks, softball, and plastic borders that we plan on installing around every single play structure throughout the township.
Charlie, Public Works replaced the play structure down on Sycamore in Maine?
Yes.
You didn't mention that one. That was a.
That was, that kind of overlapped with last year's presentation and this
Okay.
year's. So, I mean, we did include it last year.
Okay,
It's just,
I don't remember that. That was a major,
you know, they saved the best
undertaking.
for last, so I don't go till like May.
where was that place? I forget, where that play structure?
That was the old Hammock Hotel off of
That's right.
13. That was around for 20 years, but it was
Yeah.
like it was the best looking play structure, you know, it was in
Yeah.
perfect shape.
Was a major undertaking.
It was, it was. but
Lot of pieces.
Again, the guys did a great job and.
Yeah.
You know, we're not into taking used equipment, but if it's in good
Yep.
shape, you know, in the meantime, while we're fixing up the other parks, I think it justifies doing it.
We have 29 parks altogether, is that?
There, 32 parks, yeah, some of them aren't as intricate, some are just open space.
Say that
some
again? 29 parks and? That, right.
which doesn't
That's what I
include-
thought. I knew it was over 30. Mr. President, if I may, I would just like to offer my congratulations first to Public Works Department and their leadership. Because since I've been on council, I've just watched it get better and better. And we elevated it another level when Charlie took over, and the hiring process changed. And I got to tell you, if the citizens don't understand this, the level of service we get from our public works is second to none locally. What it would cost our township to do this inlet pipe and sewer work, most municipal public works departments are not capable of or are not willing to take on the responsibility of doing significant work like this. So we are truly blessed to have this department at this time saving the taxpayers a tremendous amount of money. So thank you, Charlie, and thank you. Make sure you extend our thanks to every single member of your department.
I absolutely will. Yes,
And,
thank you.
but I would be remiss if I left it at that and didn't say something about our fire marshal, Mr. DiPolito, because the work that he does is also extraordinary and second to none. Where else do you find fire marshals figuring out how to, for building use and management, writing grant funding, and you can tell, not unlike Charlie in our Public Works Department, that our fire marshal is passionate about what he does. It shows in everything he does, and consequently, I'm not surprised that his team is what it is. You know, leadership means something. So thank you all to your staffs and for your leadership. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You know, none of this would be possible without council, manager, Mazur's support, not only support, just motivation and just, you know, you guys have all been very great since the beginning, so thank you.
Yep. Very well said, Pat. That really was. Thank you. Move on the agenda here. I just want to apologize for screwing up a little bit of tongue-tying here in the beginning of the agenda. And I said to Council Mary Ann Wagner, I said, yeah, I kind of messed that up, and she reaffirmed that. Yes, yes, you did. Thanks. So, it happens. Yeah, thank you. All right, next, public hearings and ordinance. We have an application of Interstate Outdoor Advertising LP 905 North Kings Highway, Cherry Hill, New Jersey, requesting conditional use approval in order to erect a single-pole, double-sided digital sign on a property located at Route 13, Croydon, tax parcel number 05-013-237, in an M2 heavy manufacturing zone district.
Good evening, Greg Edelman here on behalf of Interstate Outdoor. It's nice to be here this evening in the township. Thank you for having us. We're here this evening for a conditional use approval With respect to a proposed billboard sign, I do have a packet of information I'd like to hand out to council. Whether you choose to read it or not is up to you, of course. So I just handed out a packet of information. It has 6 attachments. I do have 2 professionals with me here this evening, but I'm just going to give a highlight of their statements and testimony to try to bring this together as quickly as possible. I'm also here this evening with Jeffrey Gerber, principal from Interstate Outdoor as well. And as soon as I'm finished, we certainly will answer any questions council or staff may have.
You understand we don't have a court reporter. You've waived that.
That's why I'm going as quickly as
Okay,
possible.
thank you.
And not going to the formality of saying that these are exhibits, they're just a packet. So this evening, we're here for a conditional use hearing, conditional use presentation dealing with the removal of Interstate's 7 billboards that are existing along Bristol Pike. And just to orient everybody, I've had asked Randy to put up on the screen what's number 3 in your packet, which is a presentation that gives the overview of everything that's here for this evening's consideration. So what is being shown on the screen at this moment is the 7 existing billboard signs. They are static, double-sided signs, at least 300 square feet or larger, I believe, along Bristol Pike, directly across from the cemeteries, Bristol Cemetery and St. Mark's Cemetery, as well as I think it's the FedEx Freight and Bolero along Bristol Pike. And what is proposed here is that if we go to the next slide, the 7 will be removed and 1 proposed sign will be constructed, which will be a double-sided digital sign, just over 200 square feet in size. If we go to the next slide, this gives you a better overview of where the proposed location is. It's directly across from Bristol Cemetery. It's not across from any of the driveways in and out of the cemetery, and it's as you're approaching the intersection of Bristol Pike and 413. This next slide gives you an overview of what's being proposed in terms of the sign itself. As you can see, there's about a 25-foot high plus or minus sign coming up along the railroad tracks. The sign size is, as I said, I believe 220 square feet. If we go to the next slide, it should have the dimensions, 22 by 10. And you can see that it'll be double-sided, so the intent is to first put up the northbound reed, which is the right-hand reed, which was going towards the intersection. And then as we go further, the other side of the sign will be built based upon market demand. So we're just looking at the north-hand reed at this point. The messaging on the sign will be open to community and public service as well as emergency messaging. In addition, Interstate subscribes into the Amber Alert and the Most Wanted services so that it can be used for those purposes as well. Just to give you a better sense of what's being replaced, we have pictures of the signs that are now. I'm sure all of you are familiar. They're graffitied and dilapidated. Just to let you know, Interstate is not allowed to access those signs whenever they want because it's fenced in and it's on Amtrak's property. They are not allowed to go in without Amtrak's permission, and getting Amtrak's permission to be able to go on the other side of the fence is very difficult.
We know about that.
Okay.
Sadly.
So having a digital sign really makes a big difference because then it's not really subject to graffiti and spray paint. They're LED diodes, as you all know, and they're ambient light censored, so based upon the intensity of the light outside, they'll dim accordingly, and they're just a much better long-term operation and maintenance type of sign, not just to mention the addition of the functionality.
You don't find anybody who's gonna try and mess with them, right?
Well, that's, so you don't have the ladders that are there. You bring the ladders in when you have to actually service it. So we believe it'll be a much better in terms of, aesthetic than what you normally see with your standard static billboard signs. And if we just keep going, I think that's it. All right.
Okay.
And those are all the signs. In a nutshell, that's what we have. Overall, we believe we've complied with the requirements. We got some variances approved by the zoning board, and your planning commission recommended approval of the proposed conditional use for the new digital sign.
I have a question about, what's your time frame on this?
Well, we have to get a permit from the township and then a permit from PennDOT. And then, Jeff?
Best case, everything goes great for you.
It's about 6
Okay.
months, yeah.
Great.
Okay,
That's it.
we need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Hold on. Whoever you want. Who made the first motion?
I did.
Mary Ann Wagner.
I'll second it.
Marcia Dunlap. On the motion, is there any questions? All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Thank you.
Thank you
Congratulations.
very much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
your time.
Thank
Have a
you.
good evening.
Thanks for doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We appreciate
That's
the
good.
cleanup.
And
Yeah,
the ladies
yeah.
were just talking about those signs when we did the cleanup, both of them.
Yeah.
They was mentioning that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, 6 months, good luck with Amtrak letting you go in there and take those signs down. I have no doubt. I am fully cognizant of what that's like.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next on the ordinance, amending the Code of Township of Bristol, Chapter 175, Streets and Sidewalks by deleting Article 5, Prohibited Objects and Structures in Public Right-of-Way. We need a motion on that. Randy Elton, you want to give a short synopsis of that?
Just a short synopsis. This is deleting a section in the code that has the like traditional basketball nets in the street. We have it in the code, so we have to cite people. The judges feel that this isn't something that's worthy of citing, so we're removing it.
Thank you. We need
I'll
a
make that
motion.
motion.
Motion by Patrick Antonello,
I'll second.
second by Mary Ann Wagner. On the motion, is there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Next, we have a consent agenda. We have consider approval of voucher lists and requisitions dated May 16, 2024, an amount of $3,661,484.17. We have consider approval of April 18, 2024 council minute meetings. We need a motion on the consent agenda.
I'll make it.
Motion by Mary Ann Wagner,
Second it.
second by Marcia Dunlap. On the motion, is there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Next, we have a report from Township Manager.
Thank you, President Bowen. We traditionally have a Randall Avenue bridge update. We are still working with Amtrak and meeting with them. We're still working with Haynes and Kibblehouse, the contractor that we expect to award the contract to. And we are hopeful that this continues forward. Amtrak has conditionally reserved dates in June to begin. So we are very hopeful that this continues to move forward, and we'll provide an update. The township entered into a construction agreement with Amtrak already, and we're just waiting to get some final answers. Do you have a question? No?
No.
And I've been asked, I haven't been updating the website, so I'll update the website with all the current information. Next month will be the official introduction, but I'm happy to say I was able to hire an assistant township manager. Heather Slattery is sitting next to me. She starts on Monday, and we're very fortunate and very excited, and we'll have her introduce herself next month. That is all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Report from Township Solicitor, Mr. Flagger.
I have nothing further this time.
Thank you. Under new business, we have bids for 2024 curb ramp program.
Good evening. On Monday, we opened up the 2024 curb ramp program bids. We received 6 bids. The apparent low bidder is JDC Construction Services out of Doylestown with a bid amount of $313,978.75. I'm sorry, their bid is $273,025. It's for 57 ramps. Most of them are on Mill Drive and Blue Ridge Drive. So this is a new contractor to the township, subject to the responsible contractors ordinance. So we're recommending that a notice of intent to award be issued while the 30-day public review process plays forward.
We need a motion.
That motion.
Second.
Motion by Mary Ann Wagner, second by Patrick Antonello. On the motion, is there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Next, we have other business. Any other business? Yep.
Well, we have our Touch a Truck event this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., so please come out. That'll be all of our fleet vehicles, Public Works, Police, and then a whole bunch of other exciting trucks and stuff for the kids to do. One of the things I forgot to mention was tomorrow we're internally having a meeting with PennDOT. We heard the residents, the elected officials have requested to have a meeting with PennDOT to talk about all of the state roads and some of the properties in the township. So we'll report back on that, but we are hearing the residents and the concerns, and your elected officials feel the same way. And the other issue that we're starting to address, or that we've been addressing for years, and I'm reluctant sometimes to talk about it in public because I don't want people to think that I'm heartless, but we have a homeless situation, population in the township. We have a couple residents here tonight to speak of it. I just wanted to, I spoke to some of the residents. I just want to advise the residents that between our police department, our code enforcement, our public works, we are diligently trying to assist the homeless, but also assist them with services or assist them, to another place. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have comments from council members. I just have one.
Oh.
We have the Buzzard Band coming. Just put this on your June 1st. It's a Saturday night. They're a really, really great entertaining band.
That's 2 weeks from Saturday?
Yep, June 1st, Saturday, yep. And it starts at 7 o'clock. So that's our first concert. And I hope the weather is good because that is a very, very entertaining band to come see.
What do they play, Craig?
Everything.
Everything, so it's
Yeah,
a
great.
party band.
Yeah, great show, just a great show they put on. I've seen them a couple times now. We're lucky to have them.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So that's all from me.
Good stuff.
And we had our good cleanup.
Oh, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, we have two cleanups.
We had two
right?
cleanups so far.
Right. So Marcia, 10 out of 10, she put two cleanups together, one of them helped with the Croydon residents. And that was on Bristol Pike from the Dog and Bull almost up to the bowling alley. And we have 80 bags of trash out of that one. And then we
80?
did 80.
81 bags. And
Wow.
then we have 4th
And
and
then
Main Street.
the problem was on the other side of the fence as the
A lot of stuff.
Amtrak side.
Yeah, Amtrak side. They put together a meeting, code enforcement came out. Amtrak was very hospitable. They were very good, and they're going to get on it, and they're going to clean that side of the fence, between the track and the fence. And that, I didn't really think that we get much movement on that,
Been
but
on it.
they were there.
They were there.
So, and they promised to take care of it. So that's a good thing. And then, of course, we did Beaver Dam Street almost from 13 to Green Lane.
Yeah,
couple
finish
weeks
Ashby,
ago.
Green Lawn,
Yeah,
Green
Yep.
Lane, all the way down to Fleetwing Bloomsdale.
yeah, we got a lot of trash out of there, so, we're chipping away at it. So Marcia put it, she gets 10 stars, she put it together.
Yep, good job, Marcia. I think we're on Amtrak's radar now.
Yes, we are.
I think,
You
We
think?
are.
yeah.
And next, we have opportunity for residents to address council, and the first one's Larry Rhodes. Come on up, Larry. Thanks for being patient.
Hey, Larry, how you doing?
Good to see you again.
Yep. I do have some concerns. That a couple parents have come to me during the section. In the section, they wanted to know about how do I go about getting a neighborhood watch. I was like, bring up the council because I have no idea. And they also want to know about, there has been some drug issues at Kennedy Park where kids have been picking that up. I'm trying to figure out how do I get rid of that issue. Kennedy Park.
JFK. So what we are constantly telling the residents, if you see something, call the police non-emergency line, 215-785-4040. That'll be the quickest way to get an officer to the park. Neighborhood Watch, you reach out to our command staff, and we have officers that will discuss the process of that.
Now, how would I go about doing that? Who do I talk to about that to get that started?
Reach out to Lieutenant Cosgrove.
Okay. What's that? It's in Kennedy Park, right by between Bellarley and Bristol Avenue is and Park Avenue. Yeah.
So we have cameras there too,
Yes.
at the park, so we access them all the time. You talk to our Parks and Rec department, but if you see something going on, any of the neighbors, immediately you call the non-emergency line. Unless it's an emergency, then of course you call 911.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Larry, for coming out. Next is Bika. Micah. Yeah, well, I thought I was rolling along here. And then the ship gets sunk again.
My name is Micah Freeman. I'm a resident of 57. Hello. All right. Hi, Micah Freeman from Beaver Dam Road. I just want to say it's very impressive being here. We have our neighbors from Beaver Dam Road. We have as you all know, we do have a homeless population living in the woods / home, which is my neighbor. And it's concerning now because the homeless strangers are now coming to our home, right? I want to give you guys, I have a Ring camera, and I have heard people coming and in my ring looking for somebody. So it's really becoming.
Are they panhandling or?
So I'm sorry.
Either way,
It's
inappropriate. I got it.
Yes, yes, they're trespassing. So I do call the police. Again, we have concerned citizens who are taxpayers. I've been at this home for 26 years, lovely neighborhood, and it's getting worse. You see grown-ups, grown men riding bikes, backpacks. You see women back and forth. A lot of inappropriate things going on. So we want to come here as how can you help us and how can we help you? I was thinking like, okay, what can we do other than call the police? I know we don't want to put ourselves in harm's way, but we live there. I have a grandbaby, and we have kids there. So it's from last year to this year, it's getting worse. It's getting worse. I work during the day, but my ring goes off all day from people walking back. And when the two strangers came and knocked on the door, they don't ring the bell, they knock, right? So I don't know if they're looking for, I don't know what's going on. So
Yeah.
it's just very concerning. I have a neighbor next door who has a lot of traffic, and again, how can you guys help us?
Randy?
So I've been speaking with Micah. I spoke to her today. We've been emailing back and forth. We are aware of the property that she's speaking of on Beaver Dam. We have, our police department is aware. We just recently made an arrest. So one of the things that to combat what has been, an influx of homeless, or just people coming into the township with no good intentions. We have a detail now with our police department, 2 cars with 2 officers in each car, going out and proactively looking at issues in the township just for that. Unfortunately, we have a very busy town, very busy police department, and they're reactive, so we decided to make a detail so that these people, these officers, that is their only job, is to drive around and to view, as a resident is viewing, drive around and see what any of the concerns are. And it is helping. Micah and I have spoken, and again, I said it to her, I say it every time, I don't want to sound heartless, but, the officers are going to, anybody that has a warrant, anybody that appears intoxicated with alcohol or drugs, they're gonna arrest them. They're gonna get them off the street, and we're just continuing to try to combat the issues that are down here in Bristol Township. We have a meeting with PennDOT. We know that that's one of the areas with a homeless encampment between Schumacher and Route 13. So we're going to be talking to them about that tomorrow. And we're just actively trying to work with Bucks County, Family Services, all the services that are here to assist us, as well as assist us in not assisting the homeless in the neighborhood, and stop coming, take them somewhere else to assist them, but stop allowing them to eat, sleep, and live in the neighborhood.
Well, we appreciate that because I did see those community workers giving them sleeping bags. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Why are you giving them sleeping bags to sleep outside?
Well, so let me ask this, specifically, is this PennDOT property? Is that why you're one of the encampments? And the area that they're specifically speaking about, is that the PennDOT area? Naturally.
Is a neighbor.
One is a house.
Where the neighbor's allowing them to camp out?
Yes.
So that's even more difficult for us to deal with when it's, yeah.
It appears to be a drug house.
Flop house.
And so we are watching that, and an arrest was made just last night at that.
Terrific. Usually, it takes a little time, but it's been our experience that when that type of location is identified, we ultimately will win. I mean, we will get at it, so.
Owns the houses, and now we're a little baby. Her husband recently died, and her eldest son recently died. And she,
The police department are fully aware of what is that house.
all right.
Go ahead, Greg.
They was just there this week.
I just want to say,
Every day.
we're throwing everything we got at it.
Thank you.
That's why we got 2 officers in cars. We never did that, we didn't do that everywhere. So, and they're going out on patrol, we changed their shifts. We're working with the district attorneys. We're doing everything we can. And I'm telling you right now, there's 2 officers back there, and they're taking it all in.
Right.
Yeah. They're taking it in. I see them back there.
So I just want to say I appreciate our residents for
No.
coming out.
And I just want to say, there's a PennDOT, big piece of PennDOT property there, and back in the day, that was going to connect 13 and
Yeah.
Turnpike.
By the turnpike.
And we're meeting with PennDOT Friday, and one of our objectives is to get them to sell that property, because if we had houses there, homes,
Right.
it would help
Yeah,
eliminate the
it'd be a
problem.
different
So
animal.
we're throwing everything to try and get this problem.
And it's not, sadly, there's multiple locations in the township where we're dealing with the same issue. So it's not just you guys, it's. And some of the homeless, they got this route that they travel on. When they get rousted at one place, they travel to the next, and they all know where they are. And as much as we try and get them services, and believe it or not, there are services available, but the homeless, a large percentage of them are mentally ill, and they do not want to take advantage of the services. So it's a vicious cycle.
I just want to say this one thing. We have 2 overdose and 1 active shooter who's still missing, or I don't know if he's got.
I don't know what that means,
He's at
active
large.
shooter.
There was a shooter.
Oh,
a shooting.
okay, yeah.
So
Yeah, I know about that.
Not only is it an issue with them living on the property, there's crime, they're trespassing, and it seems like it's getting worse. But thank you.
Right, but
thank you
this
for
is why
putting-
I had talked to you, and you said, what can you do? What can every resident do? I've talked to the police department, and it is, emergencies, call 911. For non-emergencies, call the non-emergency line, 215-785-4040, so that What helps is the calls and the volume of calls, because that will assist us as a police department, as a township, to then go to the higher-ups in the county to say that, you know, we need assistance, this is a problem. We've already, I think I told you on the phone, it's been 3 years now that we met, all of our elected officials, met with our state senator, congressman, state rep. They all know that not only is Bristol Township, we've expressed to them that Bristol Township residents are fed up, and we need assistance and we want help, and that's why we're going further into it.
So we're doing that, but I would like to say that.
You have to.
Even though you're not signing it, come on.
Sorry, thank you, and I appreciate it. At the Marlon Williams, at 5801 Beaver Dam, hi Marcia. So at the one home we're talking about, where the drug activity is, this young lady who was our neighbor went to just to go check on the elderly woman there, and she was assaulted by a gentleman who we believe is selling drugs at that house, who does not live there. And we did call the police, and we respect the police very much, but there wasn't anything that came out of it, and we still see that gentleman in and out of that home every day. And so if those patrols come anytime after 10 o'clock, you'll see several cars there. You see those gentlemen, that activity, people in and out. And we don't have any proof, but we also believe that there's trafficking going on, not just drug trafficking, but
Prostitution.
Yes, in and out of that home. So we just want that for the record too.
That's
They
been
often
expressed
go
to the
hand in
police
hand.
department. That, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you all for coming out.
Wes Wessler?
Just one question. I live at 5814 Beaver Dam Road, and I remember before you put the wall up.
Hold on, Wes, hold on one second. Got some very important issues going on here.
My name's Dale Miller. I live at 5814 Beaver Dam Road.
Hi, Dan.
I remember before you put the wall up, whenever anything happened on the turnpike property, the police would come and say, we can't do anything on that side of the fence. You call somebody on that side of the fence, they would jump on the other side of the fence. And I was just wondering, you still got that problem, or?
We do, to a point, but now we have contacts for the Turnpike Commission, PennDOT, and yes.
Because that was a big problem back then, you know, I mean, I had a state police officer tell me to bury somebody on the other side of the road if I wanted to, you know, because they were hurting people.
Don't do that, Dan.
Yeah. All right, thank you. Next one. Next
remember
one.
doing it.
Wes, what's that? No, we're good.
Hi, Wes.
All they really need is a letter from the state saying that township police can go on that property, period. That's it. It's that simple. Well, my confirmation came on April the 12th or 14th, I think it was, on a Dateline show, Dateline TV show, Justice for Joy. And it was confirmed about the cover-up of her murderer for nearly 30 years. And it was confirmed that police were involved in it because the guy that done the murder was a confidential informant. So I have all the confirmation I needed about the corruption I've been talking about for the last over 15 years. And everybody's telling me, no, that's not true. So what I really want to know is, the guy is already convicted and already upstate. So how many of the police that were involved in covering that up are going to be charged? How many district attorneys are going to be charged? That's my real question.
Which ones are they?
They weren't named.
Oh.
Michael Slaughter was on there on the TV show, but he didn't name any of the individuals that were involved.
It's a mystery.
So yet another cover-up, and we're 30 years later.
There you go, Wes.
And about the police coming out and saying there's nothing they can do and not wanting to respond, that's not no lie. These people behind me, they're not lying. Next thing I want to come up with is, when you came on my property, on the 29th of December, and you took 3 vehicles. Blaylock took them. He said that I was talking about him when I was talking about thefts. He said I was talking about him. Well, on 29th of February, we had a little court hearing up in Doylestown in front of Ray McHugh, the president judge. And it was confirmed that they did come on the property and illegally take the cars because at the time that case was in appeal. They should have never been touched. So I'd like to know what we're going to do about that. I know McTagg ain't going to do anything because McTagg, he moved out of the township. In fact, he moved out of where he lived at. He lived right in, I think, Falls Township, Queen Anne Drive and Olds Boulevard.
Why do you know this?
He moved. So he's not around no more, but I can find him. Give me till next month, I'll find him.
I'm just curious.
Don't take me long.
Wes-
I know Bo Fleming, the other character, was involved in that as your neighbor.
Wes, are you going to, I'm just curious, if you find out Matique, are you going to spy on him like you used to do to me?
Yeah, and I'm still looking into you. There's other things that I'm looking into you about.
I'm sure.
There's a tracer on your car, Craig.
You know.
Mr. President, Mr. President, just for the
got
record.
'em. They got them. You could put them on the car.
Just for the record, the judge upheld conviction and said the township didn't do anything wrong.
No, he didn't say the council didn't do anything wrong. It's part of the transcript that, yes, you did do something wrong. You said, oh, he upheld the conviction. That don't mean nothing. Now, you can try to decipher that any way you want to, just like when you take it to court and you get it dismissed so it's not heard in court. You think that's a win for you, Randy, but it's not a win for you. A dismissal is a dismissal. That's not a conviction, and a dismissal is a dismissal. That ain't saying that I did or didn't do anything wrong.
You've been schooled, Randy Flager. You're getting schooled.
You like to go and make deals, Randy. That's your whole.
I wasn't even there.
That's your whole.
I wasn't even in court that day.
Deal maker.
No, you sent your
Deal
boy.
maker. You're being schooled.
You sent your boy. It was great that I came tonight. This is my first meeting back. Well, guess what?
Do raise some more. Do raise some more.
I'm back. You guys can try to shut me up all you want, but I'm back.
Wes, it's always good to see you. And can't wait for the next meeting. It's 4 weeks. Swing on in and
Thanks, Ray.
come on.
Thanks,
Make sure you
Wes.
sign in before
I
7
might be
o'clock.
giving you some paperwork prior to that.
Okay. Ship her in. On that note, we need a motion to adjourn. All in
Make that
favor?
motion.
All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed to our adjournment? Nope. Have a great week. And we'll see you in a couple weeks. And enjoy Touch a Truck.